timber framing tool caddy is glued up. So, while we're waiting for that glue to dry, what do you say? The subscribers have spoken. You guys wanted the restoration of the drill. I see on the chuck it's a Stanley, but it may have been made by another manufacturer and their name put on it. I'm not sure. So I've got my vise chalked up here. Got a little bit of room left on the bench, but let's tear into this and see if we can't bring this back to like new condition. All right, so let's pull all these components apart here. Here's the gear. That'll come off. I'm really interested in that. My favorite part of this is this little level, little glass filed level. And fortunately, the screw is easy to get out. This is the coolest. Look at that. Can you see that? I love it. Just love that. Set that aside. I can take this off. Let's pull the chuck apart too. That should come apart pretty easy. Yeah, you can see right on there, made in USA from the Stanley company. Sometimes these things will have parts that fly away, so be kind of careful. You can see the spring. It's got a spring on there. Oh yeah, pretty basic design right there. Those will spread and flip out on you. So you can see here, these are the jaws that clamp around the brace bit. And there's just got this spring in here. Those springs just fit in that hole like that. Same here. These should be identical. Yeah, and they are. What's some nice... Oh, they're not identical. They've got that. They fit together like that. Some nice machining though. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I've got the spring. And let's see if we can get this off here. So this is the little clip that holds the oh, it's loose. Good. Holds that the big ring gear in. Okay. Let's see if we can get this butt pad off. So these drills were called chest drills or belly drills. Some people say belly drills. Because it was for doing bigger jobs, bigger holes where you could use your body weight to lean into them. I did see it. Oh, that's coming loose. That's good. Look at that. That's great. Yeah, that's great. Somebody said that maybe these had a leather pad on them. I don't know if that's true. I saw some pictures of some old ones. I didn't see any leather pad or any mention of it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, maybe some of you guys are out there that have torn into one of these. The thing I'm not sure on is that this pinion gear here is probably pressed onto the shaft of this chuck. There's no nothing inside. There's no other way that could have went on there. They would have had to insert that pinion gear in there and then pressed that shaft into it. That could be a tricky bit of business to get off, and it's one of those things where you run such a high risk of breaking the tool. This is being cast. You can't replace it, can't repair it. For what? It might be better off just to clean all this up, mask off the gear, and just paint around it. I think that's what I'll do. This here was originally chrome, or maybe nickel. I keep saying chrome, but several of you guys told me that they didn't have chrome. They had nickel back in the day. So, and that's been pinned on here solid, and that would have to be drilled out. And that's not necessary. I don't need that to be chrome. We'll just bring that back to its metal, polished metal state. But I think that's probably about as far as we're going to go. I think I can get to everything. So let's break it down. Oh, here we go. We got another piece to break down. So let's see if we can get the handle off here. And we've got a little problem here to deal with. I'm like mini pearl leaving my tags on there. I like to see that $12 price tag. Now that's loose. That should just come out of there. That'll need to be straightened. Oh, it's in a groove. That's nice. So the reason why it's not moving very good is because it's all bent. But we can fix that. That's no problem. So this is going to be a little tricky. So this tool has been used quite a bit. You can tell it's got that. You see how wobbly this is? I'll bet this is the original handle. That's nice. I like that. I like this knob on the end. That's nice too. But it's you know what, that was just peened over like that. And I think we could probably fix that. Maybe just put a little heat on that and peen that. So we don't want it tight. We want it to spin. I think we can fix that. I think we can set that on the anvil and then we can peen that back down. I'll bet that'll work just fine. We can, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we'll try not to. I would like to take this handle off if I could. How far away is it? Oh, I'm going to ruin some. I better probably try to work with it the way it is. And then the last piece right here is the big ring gear. And someone told me that the early ones were painted orange, and then the later ones were painted red. And I wonder, I suppose this is the original paint on this? I don't know. You know, I see here that the gears were all painted. So they painted the whole thing. So there's no point of masking all this off. I'll just paint, if they paint, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me, and that might be easier for me. So the majority of this I did with my ball door bench grinder. I think if you have a shop, even if you don't have a shop, but let's say you want to get into woodworking or anything, you want to restore some old tools, one machine is worth the investment. It's got a wire wheel on one side and a grinder on the other, and you can do just about everything with it, and it's an essential item. But look what a good job it did to the body there. This is in great condition. The threads cleaned up real nice. I got a little bit of paint there left on there, but most of it I got off that. Even took that flaky chrome off there, and that nickel, whatever it was. But really turned out nice, just buttery smooth and really nice. So here's the chuck cover. All that knurling cleaned up real good. That's another one that the wire brush really excels at because it gets in there and cleans all that stuff off there. So you can see there, Stanley. Again, I don't know this for sure, but I almost wonder if someone else didn't manufacture for them. Here's the chucks, the teeth. They cleaned up real nice, real good tool steel there. Those are hard. You bet those are hard. The handle, this was the most challenging. It definitely took the most work. Fortunately, I was able to put this on the vise, just rest this on the back of the vise on the anvil section, and with a small ball peen hammer I was able to peen that down. It was good enough, thick enough material where it's rock solid now. There's even a little shoulder in there, so it just held it tight. But the main thing was it was really twisted and really bent. And so, you know, when you're straightening and pounding metal, if you pound metal to metal, it'll stretch. And you don't want that to happen to something like this, especially when you're pounding on an anvil, because anvils are really hard, and sometimes it'll stretch it. So what I use when I'm pounding on this, I use a brass hammer. It's a hammer made out of brass, and the brass is softer than the steel, so the brass hammer is the consumable. It bends and goes away, but still provides a good hard blow. So I was able to save all of that. The original handle is just in perfect condition, and took a little work to get in there and get that bark or that rust off from around it, but pretty nice. So I found the model number. This is a number 743, Stanley 743. I think that's what that is. I think I saw that somewhere. Here's the butt plate. Several of you recommended maybe putting some leather on there. I think that's a wonderful idea. I might just do that. But that cleaned up real nice with here's its corresponding bolt. Very nice. And then here's the ring gear. Ring gear there. I missed a couple little spots of paint there. I'm going to paint this. I want you guys to, just like you guys helped me to choose the color for the forge blower, Please help me in the comments decide on what color to paint this. So what I'm kind of thinking, I think the body should be black, like it was. Black body, but the wheel, originally this one came in orange, and then a little bit later they came in red, I believe, the ones I've seen. But we don't have to do that. Doesn't mean we have to stick to those deals, those colors. Here's a little retainer clip for the, this goes in there to the, retains that ring gear. And then I was really careful and cleaned up the little level bubble. That right there. I didn't get after it too much because I knew I was we'll paint this body black. We can mask that off in there and paint that over, but that turned out really good. Here's its little screw. So that is it. Those are all the components. And so I'm going to put a little music on here for you, and we'll put this together. Enough of my yakety yakking.